What if I told you there was a Stargate movie you did not know about? With Stargate Atlantis Season 5 being the last of a series, my how time has flown, plans were immediately drawn up to continue the story of John Sheppard's team and their intergalactic adventures through the Stargate. The Stargate Atlantis movie would be titled Extinction and include many of the characters we'd seen in this series. Amanda Tapping had even confirmed she'd agreed to reprise her role as Colonel Carter for the film. The film would play into the established mythology of Stargate Atlantis, but would not have the burden of trying to tie up loose story threads from the TV series. Think of it more like Stargate Continuum, the movie, rather than Stargate The Ark of Truth. But what happened? Why did this never happen? What would have happened in the movie? Well, we have all the details for you. Following the cancellation of Stargate Universe, this severely impacted any possibility of a Stargate Atlantis movie. Executive producer Joseph Malozzi, who along with Paul Mully would write the Atlantis movie, stated that Universe's cancellation put the series brakes on the progress of the SGA movie. Effectively, this caused the Stargate Extinction project to be shelved indefinitely. What about the plot of the Stargate Atlantis movie? Well, we do actually know the details about this. It would take place sometime after the Season 5 conclusion of Stargate Atlantis. As we know, the city of Atlantis had returned to Earth and landed in the ocean. In the movie, Atlantis has now been moved to Earth's moon, with the city's Stargate being offline since the return to Earth. In your typical Stargate franchise movie, the International Oversight Advisory are being a pain in the backside. The IOA pressure to have the city's Stargate brought back online. This ensures the Atlantis Stargate supersedes the main Earth Stargate at Stargate Command in Cheyenne Mountain. The goal of the IOA is to have Atlantis act as a permanent lunar base. Both Dr. Rodney McKay and Richard Woolsey attempt to point out that Atlantis and the Tari still have a duty to the people of the Pegasus galaxy. However, the IOA are not moved by this and refuse. With Atlantis now on the moon, the plot would have included both Amelia Banks and Major Evan Lorne taking a walk on the surface. It is great to know that two key characters in the series would return in the film. Personally, I really enjoyed Lorne in Stargate Atlantis. He worked very well like Colonel Reynolds in Stargate SG-1. The movie plot continues with Colonel Carter arriving with a group of dignitaries. They all seem to get together with McKay, who is frustrated at being interrupted with this and would rather do his research. Typical McKay, but things never change. Now, things would apparently go bad here it seems. The trio of Carter, McKay and Radek Zazenka would investigate an alarm on Atlantis. This would lead them to noticing a build-up of energy, following the gate being brought back online when on the moon. The team would realise that for some bizarre reason, the ancients had built in a failsafe. This was in place in the event that Atlantis was moved. Dr. McKay would realise that the city of Atlantis would self-destruct, unless it was returned to the Pegasus galaxy. Again, rather bizarre here. Keep in mind, this is only a potential plot of the Atlantis movie, and likely had not been fully fleshed out yet. In the desperate attempt to get things moving, Sheppard and Ronan Dex would be transported out of a hospital and back to Atlantis. John would also get the Wraith Todd out of Area 51, even though the IOA protested his decision. The Atlantis plan involved using its wormhole drive to execute a series of jumps back to the Pegasus galaxy. Now, to complicate matters more, the drive would burn out partway through the journey. Atlantis and her crew would be stranded in the Triangulum galaxy. This left it 300,000 light years from home. The team aboard planned to use the remaining power to do one final short-range jump. This would put Atlantis within range of a subspace anomaly that was detected. The plot of the movie goes on a bit of a random one here, so stick with me. It seems this would lead the team and involve a mysterious civilization that was tapping into limitless potential of the accretion streams between two stars. Time travel would come into it, along with a race against time to not only avert the destruction of Atlantis, but also the extinction of an entire race. There is why we have the movie title. According to entries in Joseph Malozzi's blog, there will be some standout sequences. One of these involved Colonel Sheppard trapped on an enemy mothership. He would fall back into the room holding some of the technology that the mysterious alien race had stolen from Atlantis. While surrounded, Sheppard would retreat to a room and get into one of the Asgard, or Vanir, exosuits. This could apparently cause a kick-ass Iron Man sequence. Honestly, I could see this working. And thankfully, it seems the movie would resolve peacefully. Atlantis would return back to the Pegasus galaxy, and Wraith Todd would be given his freedom. The fan favourite of Dr. Carson Beckett would return to a permanent position as Atlantis' new head of medical research and development. You'll all be glad to know that he would get his turtles back from Dr. McKay, who seemed to be looking after him the whole time.
My turtles!
What?
Things would take a bit of a turn though. John Sheppard would comfort Taylor in the end, who had suffered a terrible loss. We don't know what that loss is. Sheppard is, however, aware, given the revelations of the time travel experience, that both of them were destined to be together. Not a fan of the idea myself, that is how the movie would have wrapped up, it seems. So let's talk about this. Of course, this is very much a potential plot to a Stargate movie. It was never made and likely never will be, sadly. So what I've just told you is very much like a first draft and some random ideas thrown together, likely as a pitch towards the studio executives to get them to greenlight the project and go ahead. I'm gonna be honest, the ancient gate issue and the self-destruct does sound rather odd to me. I can sorta get behind the idea, but this is a city ship, and the ancients abandoned it. I guess you could explain the failsafe was there to ensure the Wraith could never steal the city and take it somewhere else, or the technology would not fall into the hands of someone else. But at that point, the ancients might have just blown the whole thing up in the first place. It just strikes me as a bit odd. What do you think? I also don't think I'm a big fan of the Sheppard and Taylor romance. Sure, this was alluded to on various occasions throughout Atlantis' 5-season run. I'm not sure if I'm a big personal fan of this. In some ways I could see it working, but I just don't think so. It does not feel right for the two characters and how we left them. But with Taylor supposedly suffering this great loss during a potential movie plot, this could be her losing her companion. As such, she would find comfort with Sheppard. While the Stargate Extinction film would never be made, the story of Atlantis did continue thanks to some fantastic books. The Stargate Atlantis Legacy series would kick off with the first book, Homecoming, being written by Melissa Scott and Joe Graham. This started a big series which told the story of Stargate Atlantis series, following the series ending with Season 5. The story in these books, which was released in 2010, took a very different approach to that of a potential Atlantis movie. For example, Homecoming established General Jack O'Neill preparing to send the city of Atlantis back to the Pegasus Galaxy. The city would return to the Pegasus Galaxy to face a new enemy. The book series had appearances from all major characters as well as people of Stargate SG-1. For example, before the decision to send the city back is made, Colonel Carter managed to recruit several key Atlantis expedition members to join her crew aboard the USS George Hammond. Several books would follow the Homecoming novel, including The Lost, Allegiance, The Furries, Secrets, The Inheritors, Unascended, and The Third Path. There are some fantastic stories which were explored in these novels, and I highly suggest you go and read them. You can find them on Amazon eBooks or on eBay for physical versions if you're lucky. Look, it would have been fantastic if we'd gotten the Atlantis movie. More of a series which did so much for the Stargate franchise and is still a hit with fans around the world today. People want and need more Stargate in their lives. There are still so many more stories left to tell in the Stargate franchise. Almost said universe there, but it's true, universe could continue. During one of his many blog posts, Joseph Malozzi mentioned how the missed opportunity of the Atlantis movie was one of his giant regrets. The production team came so close to giving this to fans. Ultimately, as mentioned, with the cancellation of Stargate Universe, the decision was out of their hands. If and when Stargate does come back, it does remain to be seen if any of its potential movie plot could work itself into a future series or movie. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more Stargate videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.